right on top of the floor.
Mardi Gras jerseys for the 4th straight game for Tulane, green, purple, and gold. Houston traveling in the white. Officials Rob Rourke, Steven Anderson, Vladimir Voyad Tadal. Inside, they work it to Carlton. A miss in close. And tipped over the backboard. That'll go to Tulane. These two met back on February the 2nd in Houston. An 11-point win for the Cougars, but it was hard fought. What does Tulane have to do to flip the script today?
Well, for Tulane, the formula against Houston is get to the foul line, make your shots, and really tonight, we need to see the Jalen Cook that we saw for most of the season.
Evan Cross off the mark on the first shot for the Green Wave, coming in 12-11 overall, 9-5 in the conference. Jamal Shedd runs the show for a Houston team that has overcome injuries to two of their best players. Marcus Sasser was their leading scorer when he went down with a broken foot. They also lost Trevon Mark with a shoulder injury. He had surgery. They've reinvented themselves, and they've started to go inside to guys like Fabian White, who became the winningest player in Houston history a couple games back against UCF. Tulane with the same starting 5 they've used the last 3 games. James Coleman. Cook is the 2nd leading scorer in the conference, but he's struggled his last couple. What a tear Jalen Forbes has been on.
Jalen Forbes has been really the outstanding player for this team over these last 3 games as Tulane has gone 2-1.
Ross and a foul.
And free throws are going to be something you really need to watch for tonight. This Houston team, when they lose ball games, they lose them at the line.
Well, Kevin Cross is such a key to this Tulane team. You know, we were talking with Kelvin Sampson, David. Kelvin Sampson called him the most undervalued player in the league. That's some high praise from a guy who's been around the block. His versatility has been incredible for this team.
He does a little bit of everything. He can shoot the ball in the mid-range. He's an effective passer out of the high and low post. And he's a great screener. And then he's got sneaky athleticism for a guy his size, able to finish at the rim with dominance and with either hand.
A player in the conference, top 10 in points, assists, and rebounds. Had 16 in the first meeting with Houston.
A little token pressure by Tulane.
The question for Houston's going to be, how fresh are their legs? Only a couple days rest from a 2-overtime win Sunday at Wichita State. Jamal Shedd, who's their point guard now with Sasser and Mark going down, he played all but 29 seconds. Kyler Edwards, their starting shooting guard, played all but a minute. See how those guys hold up. It's only about an 8-man rotation now for Kelvin Sampson as well. They try to find Carlton. They'll say out of bounds off James. 9 on the shot clock.
Yeah, it's clear that Houston's strategy is to go inside. They have the height and the strength advantage on the interior, but you don't want to force it.
This is Tajay Moore. Shot clock is down to 5. Jamal Shedd, deep 3, no. Good box there by Cross.
And that was not a sound box out.
Again, a Houston team that's 22-4. Got off to a 20-2 start, but again, did a lot of that without Sasser and Mark. Losses to SMU and Memphis. And Jalen Forbes knocks down a 3. What a zone he's been in. His last 4 games, 56% from downtown.
I don't know if there's a hotter shooter in the conference right now, and what you're seeing out of Jalen Forbes is a lack of hesitation.
Fabian White. How about this? Had not made a 3 until his 3rd year. He's now a 5th-year senior. Only made 2 last year. He knocks in another. He's shooting about 42% from 3. And that was make number 38 in the year. Hook to James. Quick hands by Jamal Shedd.
One of the things we noticed defensively with Tulane is over the last couple of games, when they've allowed that corner 3, that's been a problem for them.
Deion James looking, and in the backcourt goes to Jalen Cook. A wild start to these first couple minutes here in New Orleans. Houston has won 7 straight in the series. Last Tulane win was January of 2018. Cross on the fall away as the shot clock expired, and that's a foul on Tajay Moore.
3 minutes, 3 fouls for the Houston Cougars, and all of them have been really in relative loose ball situations. Those are not the kind of fouls you want to rack up. There's the shot by Cross, and as it comes off, just running into your man for more. No box out, no closeout. Tulane gets it underneath the basket.
Reggie Chaney, by the way, is on for the first time. Senior out of Tulsa, 2 years at Arkansas to begin his career. Hook turns the corner. Coleman, Forbes for 2. Out of bounds, last touched by James.
Good defense there. Saw the pass coming through, got his hands up and active.
Asking Kelvin Sampson if it's been frustrating, is challenging the word. He says, yeah, but look, it's a program that they've had to reconfigure all the time. There's Fabian White again. You think about year after year what they've started to do. They've lost 4 starters each of the last 4 years, yet they just keep on running like a machine.
They've been the most consistent team in the conference since Sampson arrived, and you just see his winning traditions no matter where he's been.
Last touch by Houston, it'll stay with Tulane.
You could say both of these coaches are program builders.
Ron Hunter's Green Wave 1 of 5 from the floor to start. Houston 3 of 5. Tulane already a couple offensive rebounds. Forbes for James. Passes up a 3 and missed everything. He was only 3 of 9 against Houston in the first meeting at the Fertitta Center. They have to get him going tonight. Tyler Edwards has struggled mightily. His last 6 games, he's about 20% from the floor. Cheney and Cross. Little bump, no call. Moore for 3. Cross with the rebound.
Now let's see if this possession offensively, we still haven't seen Jalen Cook.
Now you have. Tied at 7.
Right on cue. Jalen Cook, who's been really struggling his last 5 games, he needed that layup.
Jamal Shed for Moore. Inside Cheney and Cross.
Aiden Coleman, who had 33 points in his last 2 games.
Tied at 7 early. Houston 3 of 6 floor. Tulane 2 of 7. Cheney inside. And right over the top of Coleman for 2.
They're going to continue to attack inside on that offensive end.
Forbes for Cross. They'll play out of him in the post a lot. James open for 3. Cheney the rebound. Houston number 14, 42nd straight week they've been ranked. Dates all the way to January of 2019. No stranger to playing in road environments with the target on their back. Shot clock inside 10. Shed turns the corner. His pass tipped away on the floor for Walker. Stolen by Cook. Weaving through traffic to the lane and puts it in.
Very important for Jalen Cook to get off to a good start. He's made a couple of very difficult layups. Maybe this is the rhythm he needs to break his shooting slump.
Second leading scorer in the conference. Previous 3 games, 26% from the floor. 2 of 3 to start. Fabian White. Shed for Kyler Edwards. Shot clock late again for Houston. This is White. Off the mark, Coleman the rebound. That'll be a key tonight. Guards coming back, helping out on the glass.
Yeah, Tulane tends to concede a lot of boards, especially on the offensive end. But if their guards can help, that's going to be huge.
Forbes off the curl. Missed it badly. The rebound to Ramon Walker, true freshman out of Pearland, Texas. Actually had tendon detachment surgery. He missed the first 10 games, but he has shot the ball much better his last couple at 11 on 3 threes against Wichita on Sunday. Edwards inside, up and off. It has just been an incredible struggle for the Texas Tech transfer. Last 6 games, 25% floor. Bowman, long three.
It's a little surprising for Tulane. They are such a rhythm-based offense, and they've done a good job of passing the ball. That was not an example of that on that possession.
Ball shed. Stolen away. Jalen Cook to the basket. Blocked by Shed. What a defensive play that was. And he tosses it away. And that is going to Houston.
I think Cook is really petitioning the refs here, saying he took some contact on the finish. But you have to appreciate the activity for Tulane defensively in these scramble situations, coming up with those loose balls.
Devon Baker, number 20 in green, who had missed the previous 3 games with turf toe, is back. His first appearance since the 5th of February against East Carolina. And Tylen Pope also into the game. Pope had a great game first meeting against Houston at 14 points, a career high.
Pope, one of those guys who plays bigger than his height, extremely long arms, very physical, and a quick jumper around the basket.
Fabian White left open. Houston 1 of 4 to start from 3. In conference play, they're only about 31%. Baker can shoot it. Cross on Cheney. Cook for 3. Got it.
If someone needed a 3 to go down, it's Jalen Cook right there.
He had missed his previous 15 threes. Missed by Cheney, rebound.
Jalen Cook getting his own rhythm.
3-point lead for Tulane early. Green Wave just 4 of 13 from the floor. Houston at 4 of 11, but they've made a couple threes. That is knocked out of bounds. We've won on the road this season and played with Houston 3 weeks ago or so. Feel like they're ready and they've been peaking toward this moment.
It's strange when you look at a loss and talk about it as a turning point for your season. But Tulane's 3 of 4, since that game against Houston, and they've just believed in themselves since that night.
Von Baker off the mark on a 3. And Fabian White's called for a travel. That's turnover number 4 already on Houston. And it's back to Tulane.
4 turnovers, 3 fouls. Tulane's played a relatively clean game so far. You look at that, he lets it go and then tries to restart his dribble, and you just can't do that.
Jalen Cook, 7 early points. Working on a terrific defender in Tajay Moore. He was all defense a few years ago at Cal State Bakersfield. Devon Baker off a great cut, and that is what Kevin Cross has done as a big, averaging about 3.5 assists, 7-0 run for the Green Wave.
And it would be more assists if Tulane was a faster team.
White inside to Roberts. Had the game-winning dunk against Wichita State Sunday. And there's Walker battling inside and a foul. Now, this is what Houston does. They get on the offensive glass a whole lot. 11th nationally in offensive rebounding. Kelvin Sampson, I was asking him about the Wichita State win, and what stuck out? It was the offensive rebound laid by Ramon Walker, led to a Carlton and one. This is the kind of plays that they've done over his tenure.
But you also like to see the effort by both teams there. Everyone's crashing the glass here, and you get your guards again involved with Baker attacking the boards.
Fabian White almost traveled again. Around the key towards Shed. Tajay Moore for 3. Only 29% on the season. He was first team all Big West a year ago at Cal State Bakersfield. Spent 5 years there.
Offensively, the motion is so important for Tulane. They didn't really get the opportunity there, but when they are moving the basketball, they're getting into the paint.
Shed accelerates and finishes. He is a blur. Sophomore out of Manor, Texas, who has stepped up in a big way. Again, the injuries to Sasser and Mark stares down the student section. Houston's tied it up.
Hadn't had a lot of opportunities to get to the basket. Took advantage of that one there.
Cross inside for two. First basket for Cross. Comes in averaging north of 14 per game, 10th in the conference.
What we've seen over the last few minutes is Houston's had a lot more trouble getting that ball inside. It's effective there, and they get the layup.
Big-to-big passing, Jawan Roberts on the finishing end. Third-year redshirt sophomore out of the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas. Came over for high school and has become a terrific asset for Kelvin Sampson. That's a foul on the drive by Baker. See if they award him free throws. I think they will.
Here's Baker's drive, and you see he gets some contact on the way up, got body, and now he'll get the opportunity to go to the line and give Tulane the lead again. But we've seen this. This has been an incredibly competitive game. Ties, one possession leads, and right back to ties. So this is where Tulane wants to be.
6 ties, 3 lead changes already. Devon Baker, again, his first game since February 5th against East Carolina, missing 3 with a turf toe. Tulane team that at the free throw line this season has been terrific, 75%. They're about 81% over their last 4.
Now the question is, they go to the subs, you bring back James, you've got R.J. McGee on the floor, Noble Days as well. That puts a lot of pressure on Jalen Forbes offensively because this is a more challenged lineup for Tulane.
What's the key then offensively to adapt without Cook on the floor?
Well, then the ball movement really has become important because you don't have a lot of primary ball handlers on the floor. It's James or no one, really. And so Tulane's going to have to let the ball do the work.
Well, full court pressure here. Houston's made its last 3. That's a reach-in.
Well, like you said, Shed going downhill, creating problems for the defense, finally getting inside the interior of that Tulane defense and drawing some contact.
And the game-winning assist to Roberts with 1.8 seconds to go in double overtime at Wichita State. Went the full length of the floor in about 3.5 seconds. Inside 9 to go, first half. Tulane by a point. Trying to knock off a ranked team for the first time in 22 years. Shed off the mark. Forbes stays in bounds for the rebound. Deion James outside to Forbes. Kyler Edwards called for the foul. That's team foul number 5 on Houston, first on Edwards.
We're getting closer and closer to that bonus, and Tulane wants to take advantage. Again, Houston not a great free throw shooting team at times, and a team that will give up a lot of free throw attempts when they're struggling. But Houston has so much length defensively.
Forbes off the mark on the pull-up. Taking a bunch of contested shots. Walker, Edwards, a 3. Got it. What a sign that is for Houston if Kyler Edwards can get going. Again, his last 6 games, 9 for 48 from 3. That's about 19%.
But again, where was that shot coming from? The corner. When Tulane gives up that corner 3, they're very vulnerable.
Ames and Shed. Couple of Bulldogs going at it. Coleman. He's never bashful, but gives that one up. Forbes with Edwards in his face. That's a difficult 2. Comes up short again.
Active guy. I mean, in fact, we know the stories that also got him in trouble a little bit. But he's continued that with Houston, and now they're having their most successful stretch of basketball since Guy Lewis was on the sidelines.
That's saying a lot. 3 straight Final Fours with Phi Slamma Jamma, a couple of national title games in 83 and 84. And they're looking primed maybe for a run to New Orleans come April. We'll see. Kyler Edwards made a 3 earlier, leans in, draws a foul, shot goes down. Will they count it? They will.
A tough call there, but here we go. James gets up off the floor, and that's why the foul was called. Left his feet early, gets this body contact right there, first on the catch and then again on the shot. It's the right call there in that situation. Just got to give James in that situation has to give some more room.
Couple early baskets for Kyler Edwards, who has struggled in a big way. 71% free throw shooter and misses. He was a huge get out of the portal for Kelvin Sampson, coming over from Texas Tech. Had some big moments as the sixth man on that team that made the national title game as a freshman in 2019. Inside cross, soaring high for the dunk.
And again, what do we see? The basket comes off of great ball movement and great cutting. This time Kevin Cross is the beneficiary of it.
6 points, 3 rebounds early for Cross. 2-point game again. Shed left open. He'll pass it up for a floater. Offensive rebound, Roberts. They're going to say Cross touching it out of bounds. So they'll stay with Houston.
Seemed like a jump ball situation there, but Houston will keep possession. Cross had the inside position, but Roberts continued to fight for that rebound. They kind of got tied up, but yeah, Cross's foot out of bounds.
Now, Tulane did a nice job keeping Houston off the offensive glass the first few minutes. Really only a matter of time, though, before this team is going to get going. Edwards stepping back, finds Tajay Moore for 2. Rebound, James. The Green Wave again, 9-5, tied for third right now with Memphis. And the American standings need to be top 5 for that first round bye in the conference tournament. There's a block. Roberts getting up to deny Cross. And here comes Houston. Edwards the kick. Walker moving around to Shed. It's Moore open. Tipped away though by Roberts. Got a stoppage for a reset of the shot clock. Those are the kind of little plays you don't necessarily see in a box score that Houston makes all the time, getting extra possessions.
Yeah, Jalen Forbes trying to wave his guys off, but not paying attention to who's on the floor behind him. Houston tips it out and is able to retain possession now with another second chance opportunity, essentially.
That was Tulane's first turnover. Houston at 43% early. Green Wave 7 for 21. They've only made a third of their shots against the top defense nationally in terms of opponent field goal percentage. Shot clock to 5, Moore to 3. They're letting him shoot, and right now it's working. Moore has missed 4 of his 5 from 3. Cook inside. Can't get the roll.
Tulane can't get frustrated. Just because you're not getting calls doesn't mean you should stop being aggressive.
Edwards watched by Forbes. Shed. Too much on it for Moore. Turnover number 5 already on Houston. For the season, they're one of the better ones at not turning it over, about 11 per game.
And what you see here is Shed is trying to speed up the tempo so that he can create some downhill action and kick the ball back out. His shooters have to be ready for that. In that situation, they just weren't.
Turnovers killed them in losses to Memphis and SMU. 2 games, by the way, they led late in the second half, and that's where the bodies can get to them. Only an 8-man rotation now. James for 3, got it. And the lead back to the Green Wave with about 4.5 to go in the first half.
James is one of those guys, when he's confident in his shot, he can have a dramatic impact. 2 games ago, 18 points, 9 boards in that win over Temple.
Offensive rebound, Roberts off the Edwards miss. This is Walker. Another offensive rebound. And they're starting to take over on the glass. Roberts, no, tipped up again, won't go. Rebound, Coleman. The ball and a 1-point lead for the Green Wave in front of this raucous crowd. Forbes.
Yeah, you've gotten everything you wanted. Essentially, pace is going your way. You have not turned the basketball over, and you're not in foul trouble. Tulane has it looking good for whatever happens in the second half.
Houston, the number 14 team in the country, 22-4, atop the American by a game over SMU. This is Jamal Shed. Shot clock inside 10. Walker off the mark on a 3. Another offensive rebound for Roberts, and they're starting to pile them up. 6 now on the offensive glass. Edwards, the dump off. Roberts pirouettes, had room for an open layup, takes some contact and scores. And a chance for 3. It's our 6th lead change already in this first half.
And Houston going back to the interior. They know that's where their biggest advantage is, both on the boards and as scorers. You go inside to Roberts and look at 3 men around him. He's able to go up strong, get it up over the rim, and now the opportunity for the three-point play.
Jawan Roberts, sophomore again out of St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. Went over to Shoemaker High School, where he became a 3-star recruit. A lot of teams wanted him. It's interesting, he got exposure playing in youth leagues in St. Thomas, but you want to take things seriously, moved over to Killeen, Texas, Shoemaker High School, had a terrific career there. And again, had the game-winning dunk, his marquee moment this season in that win over Wichita State on Sunday. Inside Forbes, waiting for White, takes contact and puts it in.
Refs conferring, making sure here, and they're counting that basket. They are counting that basket from Forbes.
You don't dare wave that off in front of this crowd.
Yeah, the crowd is getting a little hostile right now. But then again, you go back to Mr. Reliable. Forbes makes a nice cut to get to the basket. They find him. The pump fake draws the contact, and he finishes.
Rare miss at the free throw line for a guy who shoots it right around 77%. Lead is 1 for Tulane. 7 lead changes, 6 ties in an action-packed first half here in New Orleans. What an environment it's been. 4 straight home wins for the Green Wave in front of this crowd. Shed for 3, puts it in.
Tulane starting to bring that defense closer to the basket to stop the bigs, and you allow a wide open 3 for Shed.
Only a 31% shooter from downtown. Cook cut off in the lane. Cross the initiator, tries a 3. Hasn't taken many this season. Rebound down to Shed in Houston. Shed floats it in, and a foul. He is so crafty in the lane.
And he's starting to change the face of this ball game in the last 6 minutes or so. Going, as you said, starting to go downhill a lot more. Looking to score himself, shooting some floaters and some layups, and then also kicking out to three-point shooters. Shed is taking control of this Cougars offense.
Sophomore out of Manor, Texas. Came off the bench their first 5 games. He's started 20 of the past 21. The only one he didn't start was the 18th of January against South Florida. He had a major ankle sprain against Tulsa. Kelvin Sampson thought he might miss a couple weeks. You think about not having Sasser and Mark, what that would have meant, but maybe a minor miracle. He was back right away the following game. Only played about 20 minutes, but he has been amazing since. Cook a step back, and a 3. Oh, baby. Tulane back within 1.
And Cook sneers as he walks back on defense.
First player either side in double figures with 10. Approaching 90 seconds left in this first half. Ramon Walker cut off. Shed whips it inside and tipped out of bounds by R.J. McGee.
And that's one of those facets of that zone defense that Tulane plays. They will give you that look in the dunker spot defensively, and teams look for it, but you have R.J. McGee sliding down into that spot and knocking the ball out of bounds.
Shot clock is at 7. A minute and a half to go in the first half. Edwards, long 3. And Cook comes back to rebound. Coming up at half, got a mic'd up session with Tulane and highlights and stats as well. There will be plenty of those. That's a turnover on the Green Wave, their 3rd of this first half. Talked about the importance of them protecting the ball. Fabian White against Noble Days. Blocked briefly by McGee. Right there to recover is Roberts, who finishes inside. He's already got 6 first half points.
And Robertson's done a fantastic job on the glass.
Final game Ron Hunter coached at Georgia State was in the NCAA tournament against Houston. Cook turns the corner, can't finish, and the rebound down to Kyler Edwards. Houston can go 2 for 1 if they choose. Shed will turn the corner. Can't hit that time. James the rebound. A chance to run. Cook and Edwards behind the back. Stops on a dime, blocked by Fabian White. What a recovery that was. State got there but needed 2 overtimes on Sunday. So they can hold now for the final shot and can take their largest lead of the first half with a basket. Inside 20 seconds. Edwards and Shed playing catch with 10 to go. Down to 5 for Shed. In the lane, outside Edwards. Gets Coleman up in the air. That's a savvy veteran move. 7th team foul on Tulane, 2nd on Coleman. And free throws coming with 3.9. I should say a 1-1.
Yeah, here's the benefit. At least it's a one-on-one situation. Coleman thought he was going to take that 3. A smart move. Again, Houston wanted to get inside on that last possession, and that's what the pump fake was going to do. But if you're Tulane, if you get this miss, you still got 4 seconds maybe to quickly get up the court and get a bucket.
I mentioned a lot of guys in this Houston team have experience. Game number 124 of Kyler Edwards' career. That was Houston's first make at the free throw line tonight. They're now 1 for 4. Kelvin Sampson, I think, knows it too.
That has to be frustrating when you know you have this interior advantage that you've just not been able to take advantage of at the line.
Edwards, 11 points and 10 rebounds Sunday at Wichita State. Was his 3rd double-double of the season. Hasn't shot the ball well, but always does the little things. Makes both there. Largest lead of the first half for Houston with 3.9. What can Tulane get? In the hands of Cook with 2, with 1. Coleman has to go. New Orleans. Again, Jack Benjamin, David Grubb with you. Tulane 12-11 overall, 9-5 in conference play. Their 9 conference wins, their most since 2006. A 10th win would be their most in 25 years. They've not beaten a ranked opponent since December of 1999. Houston, meanwhile, hoping to try to win a 3rd regular season title in 4 years. They've got to win here to stay alive for that. Knocked out of bounds, saved though by White. So he stayed it. And here comes Houston. Again, 22-4 after a 20-2 start. Couple back-to-back losses. SMU and Memphis bounced back with 2 straight wins. And they have gotten Kyler Edwards going here tonight. He's got 10 points, 2 of 4 from 3-point range after coming in 9 for his last 48.
Well, it's been so much tougher for Tulane on those rotations.
No foul call inside on the cross drive. It's a 5-on-4 for Houston if they hurry. Tajay Moore left wide open. Can't hit, tipped out of bounds off Coleman, and it'll stay with Houston.
One of the things to watch, too, is Carlton is back in the game now after sitting with those 2 early fouls. How does he impact this both on the glass and as an interior scorer?
Eight-point lead for a team that can gain separation in a hurry. The Cougars off a Final Four run a year ago. Hoping to get there again. It would be in New Orleans if they can. Shot clock to 3. Shed on the miss. Rebound James. Again, Houston, the top defense nationally in opponent field goal percentage. James misses a 3. Green Wave now 4 of 11 from downtown.
A little flat on that shot.
This crowd so desperately wants to get involved. Some pushing in the paint. White goes down. And that's on Coleman, which is his 3rd. So that's a big moment. Think about the scoring punch he's given Tulane. 16.5 points his past couple. Scoreless in the first half, only 1 attempt.
And the last 2 fouls he picked up have been on him mentally. He got up in the air late in the first half, fouls a shooter, and then here, fouling a big man cutting through. That's just not his job.
So his third foul. Devon Baker comes back in. Houston again without Marcus Sasser, was their leading scorer. Out for the year with a broken foot. He had surgery. Tremont Mark, shoulder surgery, only played 7 games. And yet they've reinvented themselves. And another 20-win season, their 7th straight. Carleton in the lane, and a late call, but an offensive foul.
And we talked about Carleton in the first half of this foul trouble. He comes right back. First 2 minutes, a third foul. Dips that shoulder in offensively. And a great job by James holding his ground and picking up that foul.
Well, Kelvin Sampson's going to roll the dice and leave him on the floor defensively here. So does Tulane go at him? He hedges out. Baker works it around the horn.
If they are, it's going to have to be off the drive.
Good feed inside to Cross. All kinds of congestion. No foul call again. That is tipped out of bounds. And it'll go to Houston.
Refs are allowing a lot of contact. I know Kevin Cross has to be frustrated. That's about maybe the 3rd or 4th possession where he's gone inside and felt like he should have gotten a foul call.
Tulane's taking only 5 free throws. They average about 19 attempts per game. That's a key to their success. Jamal Shed, sophomore point guard. Backdoor, the cut by Moore. One of the most athletic players in this conference. He just glides to the rim, and all of a sudden the lead for Houston is double digits.
And like you said, Houston can pull away very quickly, and this Tulane offense has not gotten anything going.
Cook the kick. James for 3. A huge hit and a much-needed bucket for the Green Wave.
His second 3 of the game, and he's usually a much better shooter when you get him by himself.
Carleton left open and connects. He's an impressive-looking player. Again, 4 years at UConn. Last season only averaged about 11 minutes and 3.5 points, up to 12 points per and 6.5 boards.
Carleton just makes it so much more difficult for Tulane to pass off of the cuts.
Cross from deep.
Well, now the test is, are you going to keep matching Houston shot for shot? You got to get some stops.
Houston 3 of 5 from the floor to start the second half. It's White inside. Offensive rebound, Carleton, that's too easy. Another offensive board, the 8th of the game for Houston. Carleton's got 4 points and 4 boards. 7 second chance points. Cook from downtown, not that time.
Yeah, he's gone cold since that early start.
More a rifle feed inside for Fabian.
Opponents that you're going to need to have a good defense without having to resort to any gimmicks or things like that.
Fabian White misses that free throw. Houston now just 2 for 6 as a team at the line. White became the winningest player in program history against UCF. He passed a guy named Michael Young. You might know him. Was pretty good on those Phi Slamma Jamma teams back in the 80s.
Yeah, he might have been the best jumper on the team, including Clyde Drexler.
And that is saying something. A group that made 3 straight Final Fours, couple of national title game appearances. 9-point lead for Houston. Can Tulane get back in this in front of the home crowd? Cross takes some contact. That's a foul on Carleton. And we talked about rolling the dice. That is number 4, picks it up at the 15-13 mark.
Yeah, you really rolled the dice with Carleton. He had a great impact in these first 5 minutes, but now 4 fouls. Do you seek him out? Like you said earlier, do you seek him out defensively? It's almost as if Carleton is putting himself into these positions.
Now they've got Juwan Roberts waiting at the scorer's table as Cross makes that first free throw. Not like there was a steep drop-off in that first half. All Roberts did was give him 6 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 on the offensive glass. But still, you're losing Carleton, who's your second leading scorer and the number 4 rebounder in the American Athletic Conference.
And Houston's gotten some great production from these secondary guys, just even not with points, but just in their activity, and that's been huge.
2 free throws for Cross. He's 4 for 4 today. He's made his last 19 free throws. Tulane needs to stop in the worst way. Down 7 with 15 to go. Trying to win against a ranked team in this building for the first time in nearly 25 years. Shed, drop off to Roberts. Kyler Edwards knocks down a 3. He has been sensational. 13 points, a third triple, and it's back to 10.
Do I have to say it again? They left the corner open.
He's made him pay a bunch. Forbes turns the corner and throws it down.
A statement dunk by Jalen Forbes. I think that's a message to his own team to continue to be aggressive.
Can that get them rejuvenated? Can they get a stop? Fabian White. The answer is no. A little flex running back down the floor. He's put in 10, and the lead back to 10.
More than strength, that was just fantastic body control.
Forbes off the cross screen, long 3, no. Edwards almost tipped it in, and he comes down in some pain.
And that's a tough place to grab, a non-contact injury, and he's grabbing right below the knee.
Well, this is just the last thing in the world you need to see for Kelvin Sampson. And you hope he's okay. This is a team. They've had 46 player games missed due to injury. The bug has just hit them so hard. Let's watch this again.
Oh, you see the left leg flex, and it just goes in the wrong direction. He's going to stay on the floor. If you're Tulane, then you want to test him. See if he can move.
He missed the opener to conference play against Temple with an ankle sprain. Seems to be okay for now. 10-point lead in the ball for Houston. Trying to create some separation here on the road. Cook reaches in. Can't get it from Shed. And it's Tulane ball. What a play that was defensively.
Well, if they're going to change their fortunes, they're going to have to do it on the defensive end. They have not been good defensively for the first 6 minutes of this half. Maybe, again, Tulane's looking for the spark, the crowd looking for a spark. Can you turn this turnover into points?
Lead was 5 at the half for Houston. They've doubled it early here in the second. Can Tulane take advantage after forcing a 7th Houston turnover? Sion James. 2 come to him. Shot clock's down to 5. Baker's got to go. That's a deep one, and not the shot they wanted.
No, just a very herky-jerky possession there for Tulane. Ball movement wasn't crisp, and a lot of dribbling.
Hard to beat this Houston defense when you're that extended late in the clock. Shed off the white screen. Edwards has made 3 threes. Make it 4. He's got 16, and the largest lead of the game for Houston, 50-37.
He's gotten well. Came in this game, couldn't hit a shot. Now he's hitting everything.
Again, he had made 9 threes his previous 6 games on 48 tries. Feels like a desperate moment here for Tulane. Boy, they needed that in a big way. They were asking Kelvin Sampson, how do you break a guy out of a shooting slump? He said, it happens. You think about Steph Curry, the long drought he went through in January. That was the first example he used. Kyler Edwards is a confident guy. When you come off the bench and hit 4 threes in a national title game, you know what you're doing in big spots. And he has broken out in New Orleans today. Lead 11 for the number 14 team in the country. Trying to go to 12-2 in American play and stay atop the conference. Fabian White misses. That's out of bounds off of Moore. The Green Wave at 9-5. Tied for 3rd right now in the conference with Memphis. Again, you have to be top 5 for one of those first-round buys for the conference tournament, which starts a week from Thursday. Next Thursday. Jalen Cook. James is the cutter. Inside 12 to go.
Great discipline by this Houston defense.
Cook, long three. And after making both in the first half from three, he's 0 for 2 in the second. Some miscommunication here with Shed and Moore. Shed tracks it down.
Just avoiding the 10-second call.
Again, it was a 5-point lead at the half for Houston. Up to 11 now. It's been as many as 13. Edwards, not that time. A rare miss projected in the AAC in the current bracket by Joe Lenardi.
Well, that also shows that the American Conference is starting to get more respect. It's gotten, the level of basketball has gotten deeper in the conference over the last couple of years, and Tulane is a perfect example of that.
How about the surge Memphis has been on? That rough start, they've gotten more healthy. Got DeAndre Williams back. Jalen Duren missed a lot of time. Picked up that big win at the Fertitta Center. That dunk won't count by James. It's a foul on the floor with 11:10 to go. So an 11-point lead for the number 14 team in the country. In the top field goal defense nationally, this is not the spot you want to be in against these guys being in comeback mode.
No, and you're also allowing them to shoot better than 60% here in the second half, so you're not helping yourself on either end of the floor.
Kevin Cross outside for James, turns the corner on White and banks it in. 8 points for James. It's a 9-point game. The question now is, can they get stops?
That's been the question the entire second half. Tulane has gotten buckets and then immediately allowed Houston to respond.
This crowd trying to will the Green Wave back into it. They've won 4 straight here at home, 6-1 in conference home games. Shot clock to 5. Shed, Walker, 3, got it. What a silencer that is from Ramon Walker. It's back to 12.
I know Ron Hunter wants to stick with that zone, but guys are coming in so deep to protect against the interior, they're not able to recover in time to stop the three-pointer.
We approach the midway point of the second half. Jaden Coleman has not scored until now for 3.
33 points in his last 2 games. His first bucket of this one. They really need him in these last 10 minutes.
Fabian White, that's a big size mismatch on James, and he draws the foul. We've seen that a lot tonight. Houston's done a nice job against the zone, finding the mismatch.
When they see the guards rotating to the backside, they attack them. And you saw that there. White going in with the right hand, seeing that there was no one else to stop, and being able to turn back inside towards the paint and get that ball up above the rim for the shot attempt.
Now, Fabian White last year was coming off a torn ACL. Missed the first 19 games, returned in February at Wichita State. He was a key piece to their NCAA tournament run. Talk about a guy returning in about 8 months from an ACL. That's pretty unheard of in college basketball. He had, 8 and 7 against Oregon State in the Elite Eight, 12 against Cleveland State round 1. Again, the winningest player in program history. He has been a key piece all these years for Kelvin Sampson.
And you see, he keeps his motions very limited. He doesn't do anything that he's not capable of doing. If he catches the ball, it's a quick turn or a pass out. And defensively, he knows how to use his body very well. The epitome of a team player.
Couple of free throws there. Lead is back to 11. Can Tulane answer again? Cross given room by Cheney, doesn't fire a 3. Roberts has come back in as well. Tough pass caught by Coleman. Another 3. Just haven't found that magic spark they've had this year at home.
Particularly offensively.
Houston at 61.5% in the second half so far. Jamal Shed, Edwards. Offensive rebound by Roberts. Wide open Walker. Not that time. Cross a powerful rebound. Edwards goes down. And here comes Forbes. On the move to the basket, and free throws coming.
And the physicality of this game continues to rise, and Houston is the better suited team to take advantage of that. Forbes here on the drive, hard contact, but he's got to continue. He's been trying to go to the rack in the second half. He had that big dunk, but it just hasn't been enough. Tulane has not been able to string together 2-3 baskets in a row or 2-3 stops in a row to get any closer than 11 points.
Forbes makes that first free throw, preseason second team all-conference selection. The first Tulane preseason all-AAC pick since they joined the league in 2014-2015. Again, 4 straight 20-point games coming in. Kelvin Sampson in Houston knew that. They've tried to neutralize him. His numbers this season as he misses that second free throw.
Little things killing Tulane right now. Houston's leadership, poise, very evident.
And they've missed 3 free throws, a little uncharacteristic for a team that's at 78% in conference play at the line. Approaching 8 to go. Tajay Moore inside Cheney, backing down Cross, who pulled the chair on him, but they call a foul first.
This has really been hurting Tulane. It just feels like they're not getting a fair whistle inside. That's why this crowd is so irate. You look at Ron Hunter's face at this point, he doesn't know what to do. He's trying to get his guys to play defense, but look, Cheney there pushing off to create separation, no call.
4 team fouls. That was the first on Cross. Jamal Shed running the show. Tajay Moore wide open for 3. That time he makes Tulane pay. And it's right back to 13. Moore with only his second make from 3 on 7 tries. Cook turns the corner. James to respond and does. 11 points, 3 threes.
Well, you'd hope that James, though, would be your 3rd or your 4th scorer. But a lot of the burden in the second half is falling on him.
Shed, no. Offensive rebound again for Roberts. What a game he's played. 8 points, 10. One of those top 5 spots.
A very tough schedule to end the season. They've been playing so well up until tonight. You thought maybe they could get some things back on track. I don't know what they can do in these last 7 minutes to kind of get something going and have confidence going into those final 3 games.
Forbes to the basket again. That's a good start to get it back to 10 points. The question in the second half has been on this end, where Houston is shooting about 56%. What has to change defensively?
Tulane's got to win the battle on the glass. They've just been giving up so many second chance points and giving up points in the paint. They're out shooting Houston from deep. You didn't expect to see that tonight. Houston's made maybe more threes than you expected, but that lack of defense on the interior has killed the Green Wave.
Tajay Moore stepped out of bounds, so that 3 will not count. And with 6:29 to go, Houston turns it over for an 8th time.
The sideline becoming a 6th defender there for Tulane, and they needed it. And he's still manageable. 10 points, 6.5 minutes. But can you execute?
Yeah, I mean, Tulane's done what they have to do in the second half. They're shooting 50% from the floor, 4 of 10 from 3. The problem is Houston's taken 8 more shots. Forbes, Cross. No room given here by Roberts. The way their bigs can move is amazing. James flying on the baseline and lucky to be fouled there by Roberts. I mean, the lateral quickness and movement of the big players here for Houston, I mean, the front court bigs, it's incredible. They can pretty much switch anything.
Yeah, defensive versatility is so key for Houston. Guys can switch, guys can cover their spaces. And that length, again, being able to get low, knock the ball loose, and they have completely cut off the drive on the baseline, which is something that Tulane usually does very well, attacking the rim from that dunker spot and from baseline drives. They've had none of that.
Coleman off the curl. Well short. And the rebound down to Houston. Again, Tulane has not beaten a ranked team in more than 22 years. Got to go back to December of 1999 when they beat NC State. But they're having their best conference season in about 25 years. 9-5, sitting in a tie for third with Memphis with a couple weeks to go. Roberts to Moore on the cut, misses, but another foul called on Tulane.
Yeah, Ron Hunter's going to have to find some size in his next recruiting class. I mean, it's just hurting them. They don't have a shot blocker. They don't have somebody who can dominate the defensive glass and box out bigger guys. And that's really been a disadvantage for Tulane tonight. They just can't, defensively, they can't make a choice. If you stay with the interior defenders, you're giving up threes. If you stick out with the three-point shooters, you give up second chance shots.
Tipped out of bounds, last touched by Tajay Moore, so he splits the pair. An 11-point game with 5:32 to go. Again, Houston had a big lead on SMU before they came back, but there's a little more time in that game. James, the drop-off, cross, regathers, can't finish. He'll go to the line.
Tough catch, but at least you get the free throws out of it. Tulane's best success in the second half has either come Jalen Forbes attacking the rim, James attacking the rim, and then those shots have come from that. When they've isolated, that's when they've gotten these short threes and tougher shots. But a great positioning there for Cross, and now he's got to make his free throws.
He's 5 for 5 at the line now, and has made 20 straight. 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists for the only player in the American Athletic Conference in the top 10 in each of those 3 categories. Make it 21 in a row at the line, and it's back to 9 points. Can Tulane get a stop? They have been hard to come by in this second half. Houston above 55% still. Kyler Edwards has made 4 threes. Misses there. Tajay Moore nearly brought the house down. And that's going to Tulane. Tell you what, this guy can fly with the best of them.
It felt like his elbow was somewhere above the ceiling when he went for that follow. Just incredible athleticism. My goodness.
He's a guy who, again, started his career at Cal State Bakersfield, played 24 years his true freshman season before a leg fracture. He had 5 surgeries. Zion James puts it in, and it's down to 7. So 4:50 to go. Tulane making a push.
Now in the first half when Tulane was successful defensively, it's when they kept the ball outside the three-point line. So far halfway through this possession, that's what they've done.
Shot clock down to 5 for Jamal Shed. It's Moore, drives on Coleman and finishes. That's a crowd silencer for you. Tajay Moore with 11, the third Cougar in double figures. Forbes, the spin, blocked by Roberts. Oh, what a play! Soaring to meet it at the summit.
Frustrating night for Jalen Forbes.
Inside 4 to go. Houston trying to silence the crowd a little more. Shed the kick. Moore cashes in for 3. He turns to the crowd after knocking down his third 3. He's got 14, it's back to 12.
And those have been the spots that have killed Tulane all game long, those corner threes.
Coleman, the drop off for Cross, and Tajay Moore blocks it.
We've been talking about his exceptional athleticism for about 4 straight possessions now, and you just saw it again.
He just pinned him on the glass again. Edwards takes contact, puts it in.
3, okay, that's not that big a deal. But the points in the paint, the second chance basket, and just not getting anything from their bench tonight, those are areas where Tulane usually doesn't get as big a deficit against their opponents.
Well, it has to happen now if a comeback is coming. And Forbes comes up short.
You're starting to see it in the faces now of the Tulane players. The frustration is setting in.
7 straight losses to Houston. Haven't beaten them since January 2018. And Houston shooting the lights out in the second half here in New Orleans. Kyler Edwards. No. Rebound Forbes. So down 15, 2:35 to go. They got to get something quick. Cook, no. Outside cross. James passes up a 3. Cross in the lane and a chance for 3.
Cross also coming up a little limp there. I don't know if he bumped knees or if he stepped on someone's foot. But losing Kevin Cross right now would not be a good thing. Here's the drive by James. Cross with the catch. Yeah, I think it looks like he just banged his knee. But gets the opportunity again. Perfect from the line.
As valuable a player as there is to his team in this conference. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He's made all 7 free throws in 22 straight. A noticeable limp as he goes back down the floor.
He's in pain. And that right knee, he's grabbing it at this point. But he's not going to leave the floor. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
He did miss a game earlier in the year with a knee injury as well. Tajay Moore. Houston can now run all the clock. Rifle feed inside to White, stripped by James. Moore gets it back and hits. Oh, that hurts. Maybe the knockout punch right there. Tajay Moore has been sensational with 16. Inside Cook, no. 5 for 14 for him today. This is a couple times this year they've been able to frustrate him with length.
And for Jalen Cook, 15 of 42 over his last 4 games now. After such a fantastic start and middle to his season, it's just been so tough for him to go ice cold at the most important stretch for his team. I know it's got to be killing him, knowing what he's capable of, and especially on a night like tonight, it's just gotten out of hand.
Again, coming over after a year at LSU, where he didn't play a whole lot behind guys like Javonte Smart and Cam Thomas. So it's back to 12. There's the pressure coming from Tulane. Knocked away by McGee, but again, Houston recovers.
And Houston's in no rush.
The other issue, Tulane with 6 fouls already, so Houston now is in a free throw situation the rest of the way. It'll be a 1-and-1 upcoming for Shed. James picks up his 3rd. You can't say enough about the job that Kelvin Sampson has done this year with this Houston team. And how many teams nationally, you lose maybe your best 2 players, arguably your best 2 players, and you not only stay afloat, but you're a perennial contender still. And he's reinvented them. They find ways to win in so many different ways.
I mean, you see tonight, as Kelvin Sampson says, defense travels. And they brought their defense here to New Orleans tonight. And those great defensive plays that they've made, the block shots.
Cook, you have to rely on some free throws being missed.
Yeah, it's going to be, you attack early, see if you can create the turnover. If they get it across half court, then you foul. And just try to extend this game as long as possible.
Shed passes all the way up to Fabian White. Inside it goes. And Tajay Moore raising the roof here in New Orleans. An exclamation point. Cook, no. McGee. And he draws a foul. Tajay Moore is something else.
My goodness.
They call him a pogo stick, and we just saw why.
That's not pogo. Pogo goes straight up. He left the ground somewhere about 5 feet outside of the paint, and his chin was rim level when he put that ball through the hoop. My goodness.
Another missed free throw for Tulane. 11 of 15 as a team at the line. McGee has not scored. That was his first shot from anywhere in this game. Ron Hunter's team looks like it's going to come up short. There's 2 misses. Look, you have to have things happen in stages, right? I think Ron Hunter made a really good point. Actually, Kevin Sampson even maybe said it better. I was asking him what he thinks of Ron Hunter and the way that, he's built Tulane this year. He said, programs go through a progression. Hope, then think, then know. They've gotten to the stage where, yeah, you can win consistently in the conference. You can win on the road at the place you haven't, like Wichita State. You can knock off a Memphis team. That next stage is, can you beat a perennial top 15 type team?
Right, and for Coach Hunter, that's the thing he talked about. Is it took till 2/3 of the season had passed by for him to really believe that this team could win those games. And at some point, they have to start thinking that they should win these games. And it's going to take a little bit more talent. It's going to take a little bit more experience. This is still a very young team for Tulane. But you see the potential, and nobody's going to push their team any harder than Ron Hunter will to get the most out of them.
Fabian White checks out to a big round of applause. The winningest player in Houston history. He's going to get win number 112 in his career tonight. Jaden Coleman, no, that kind of night. Rebound taken in there by Javier Francis, and inside, there he is for a dunk. Francis, the freshman out of New Orleans, so a homecoming. Went to Montfort Academy in Florida his final year. How about doing that in front of some family and friends? Jalen Cook knocks down a 3.
Too little, too late for Tulane.
3 of 6 from distance. 4 of 11 everywhere else for him. Houston will dribble out these final seconds. Looks like they'll just maybe take a shot clock violation. Well, we'll see. Kelvin Sampson will say to go for Shed. He'll lop it up. Edwards will throw it down with 12.6 to go.
That one might lead to a testy. I want to watch this post game.
Yeah, well, hey, these two got into it at halftime at the Fertitta Center 3 weeks ago. Shed will dribble it across half court, and Francis will put down a windmill. Jalen Cook didn't like that, and there are going to be some words exchanged here. Kelvin Sampson is saying, what are you doing?
Sampson ran out of...
So it's a one-shot technical for them coming on the floor, and Houston moving onto the floor, that is. And Forbes makes 1.
And you see Tulane has already sent Coleman back to the locker room.
Well, with .8, it's 14. If anyone was wondering if this might be a significant result to some, it won't. The spread was 8.5, so it's 14, and Tulane will inbound it one more time. Cross will toss it in, and that will officially do it. A little bit.